So I've got a pretty cool cat story. I have a Maine Coon, his name is Batman. And we, as a family, decided to go for a walk down to Como to go for a swim. And Batman followed us right up the private road and then along our street and seemed to stop on the corner when we crossed the road. I told James he probably should take Batman down and lock him in the house because he was following us, but James thought it would be okay. So anyway, the cat went missing for a couple of days. The last time we saw him was when we walked off to Como. So then we decided to get in the car and drive around slowly calling out his name and see if we could find him. And so we were driving down the street and then coming back, then driving down another street and then coming back. And then at one point, James heard a meowing and said, I hear him. So we stopped and we listened out for a while. We didn't hear any more meowing. So then we drove off. And then a lady actually heard Batman meowing and came out of her house and saw Batman chasing us down the street. So we were driving slowly and Batman was chasing us. And then we turned around and came back again and we didn't even see Batman. And then we went down a different street and the lady watched Batman run down that other street. Then we came back and went down another street and the lady grabbed Batman because he ran past. And then when we came back again, the lady and her son were on the side of the road with the cat in their arms because he's a really friendly cat and they just picked him up. And then they held him up. So as we were driving along, calling out his name, there's a lady on the side of the road that's actually got Batman. So he recognized James' voice from James calling out in the car, and he's a dark cat and we didn't actually see him at all. And so he was not able to get his way home. So we're assuming that Batman was lost, even though he was like literally 2 streets away. We would have thought that he easily could have found his way home, because you hear stories of cats like moving from one house to another house and the cat finding their way back. So I'm sure that sort of stuff happens, but I can promise you that I think cats sometimes, they don't have good sense of direction. So I think our little buddy has been lost before. So I think they can't always find their way home. So in this instant, driving around calling out his name ended up being a very efficient way of getting back, because he's back now and he's very, very happy. You know, I thought that was super interesting. The fact that the cat recognized the voice and chased the car down a couple of streets enough to get somebody's attention who came out of their house because there was no people out around, and in order to get our cat back. Anyway, tell us if you think that's a pretty amazing story, because I think that's amazing. Yeah, so we ended up finding him in basically exactly the same place that we left him. So maybe he got spooked or something and he found somewhere to hide, but for a couple of days he was pretty much hanging out on exactly that same corner where we actually left him.